All right, guys, it's that time of year again.
Where we get to shave our poodles and call it Samuel?
Yeah, Oscar season.
Oh, yes, that one.
All right, my name is Chris Adams.
And I'm Robert Adams.
We're here with Method Living Productions, and we're here to talk about the Oscar nominations and who we think might win in some of these big categories. We don't have time to go into all the categories because there's a lot of them, but we'll talk about some of the bigger ones here.
All right. This is going to be really interesting as far as the Oscars this year. There was a lot of surprises and just stuff I was not expecting when they announced the Oscars. I would say the two things that really shocked me right off the bat were, first of all, 13 nominations for The Shape of Water. It's Guillermo del Toro, who does fantastic as far as Oscars go. I think Pan's Labyrinth is one of his best movies, if not his best one, still. And since they announced the nominations, I've seen The Shape of Water, and it was a pretty good movie. A little weird, but it was actually pretty good.
I think it deserves those 13 noms.
There's definitely some in there I do believe it deserves. It deserves, I would say, for Best Picture, if it's like cinematography stuff. Sally Hawkins for Best Actress, because she spends the entire movie mute. And not speaking, so to convey the feelings and emotions that she has to convey in that movie is impressive. The other one that I thought was really impressive that I was not expecting was 4 nominations for Get Out.
It's a huge one.
And it's like 4 of the biggest ones too. Picture, Best Actor for Daniel Kaluuya, Best Director for Jordan Peele, and Best Original Screenplay. This is fantastic, the fact that this got nominated and got that many nominations, especially because horror movies they don't get nominated for anything. So
right. So horror movies, and then the fact that it came out in February, which is a dead season for any contention for movies.
Yeah, and usually
that's why you see most movies coming out in the latter half of October into November, because they're going to be in the forefront of the minds of the people who are voting in the Academy.
Movies that come out earlier in the year are usually forgotten by the time we get anywhere near award season.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately for stuff like that, that's what I was thinking. One of the reasons why movies like Logan, which should have been nominated for a lot more than, I think it was like adapted screenplay, which I'm guessing they're adapting it from the Old Man Logan storyline, but stuff like that just didn't get as many nominations, which, I mean, obviously Hugh Jackman should have gotten a nomination for that, and so should have Patrick Stewart, and I would even see Daphne Keane as X-23 Laura.
Yep.
She did fantastic in that movie, but
That's one of those things, like, the Academy just has this thing out against comedies and comic books and horror. If any comic book movie would get a nomination, I would expect it to be Logan. Of course, I said that when Dark Knight came out, too.
Yeah.
And
they usually, the only nominations they get are going to be, like, visual effects and sound effects, so.
Right. I'd say let's go ahead and get into it here. Let's go ahead and get into the list here. So we're going to start off with Best Picture. The nominees on Best Picture right now are Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. It's funny because, like, they have 10 slots and they used 9 of them.
Yeah.
Throw one more in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other movies that they could have mentioned in there that just...
Florida Project, Logan. Some people even wanting Wonder Woman just because of its cultural impact.
I, Tonya
is a big one that people are
raving about. There. Yeah.
I think the forefront. I think the one that's set to win this one. I mean, it's between Shape of Water and Three Billboards. Whereas Shape of Water has been getting a lot for Guillermo del Toro and director, Three Billboards has been sweeping a lot of the other awards categories.
For actress, or Best Supporting Actor. I think in this it has 2 Best Supporting Actor nominations. So,
so I mean, I think the one to look out for here is Three Billboards, but there's a chance that Shape of Water could come in. Like, it's really hard to pick out, especially since the Academy right now is loving Phantom Thread also, and I think that might have something to do with the fact that Daniel Day-Lewis is retiring.
Yeah.
Let's go on and move on to Best Director. So the ones up for Best Director right now are Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread, and Guillermo del Toro for Shape of Water. Again, there's a lot of eyes on Guillermo del Toro for this one.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like Christopher Nolan, I think is one of those. Christopher Nolan is to directors what I would say Meryl Streep is to actresses. If he's done a movie, we got to nominate it. If Meryl Streep was in a movie, she's got to get a nomination, which again is true this year with The Post. So, Christopher Nolan did Dunkirk. I thought he did a very good job at that.
Funny enough, though, this is actually the first movie he's been nominated for Best Director on. He wasn't nominated for Inception or
Interesting.
Interstellar or any of those other ones.
Well, his movies are always like huge for Oscar draws, except for the Batman movies, which again, comic books.
Unless it's Heath Ledger, which obviously that award was deserved.
Yeah.
I think the big one I would love to see win it, though, I would love to see Jordan Peele actually take this.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's a chance at all it's going to happen, but man, I would love to see that. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
That, and I know Greta Gerwig having a nomination in there is a huge thing as well. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that she got one in there, too. I think the Academy after the Golden Globes were like, we got to throw, after Natalie Portman's little thing at the Golden Globes, like, we got to throw either Patty Jenkins or Greta Gerwig in there, and Greta Gerwig deserves it for sure. Patty Jenkins might too, but let's go ahead and move on to Best Actor. The ones up for this are going to be Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel, Esquire.
Like we were saying before, I would love to see Daniel Kaluuya because he did a fantastic job.
It would be great
for Get Out. And then there's a strong chance that Daniel Day-Lewis may get it thrown again because he's retiring. But I think the standout one in this is going to be Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill.
A lot of people were putting Timothée Chalamet as the early front runner, but when Gary Oldman started sweeping a lot of these other awards, you look at
he's going to be the hard one to beat.
A lot of people are saying, that's not Gary Oldman I'm seeing up on the screen playing Winston Churchill. I'm actually watching Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be kind of a hard one to top. I think this is going to be his award to lose, especially since he's got, a 40-year career and hasn't won an Oscar yet. Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of people pushing it for, at the very least, a Lifetime Achievement type of award.
What about for Best Actress?
Best Actress, we have Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water. We have Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards. We have Margot Robbie for I, Tonya. Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. And Meryl Streep for The Post. Let me just stop for a minute and just applaud myself for getting Saoirse's name right.
Yeah, well, I mean, because it's actually funny, because of Lady Bird and how much everyone's been talking about the movie and her, the collective community of people in this world have now learned how to say her name properly.
It's not Saoirse.
Yeah, it's Saoirse. She's Irish. She's been making the talk show circuits, and what I thought was funny is every single late night talk show she's been on, like one of the points of contention is always how to pronounce her name. She did it on like Jimmy Kimmel, on Fallon, so it's kind of funny.
Everyone knows now.
Yeah, everyone knows how to pronounce Saoirse Ronan now.
Okay, so for this list, a lot of people say Meryl Streep is usually the front runner for things. I don't think so this time.
I don't think she's going to get it this one.
No.
Frances McDormand, I think, is going to be the front runner for it. And like I said before, Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water, she did fantastic in that.
But you can't count out Saoirse. I think there's a big push for Saoirse to get it also because I think she got the Golden Globe for Lady Bird.
For Lady Bird?
I think she won that one for, it was her and Frances McDormand that won the Golden Globes.
I think Frances McDormand's going to be the front runner of it. Margot Robbie did all right in I, Tonya, but I think there's some better performances than that. So,
yeah. So, Best Supporting Actor, we have Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project. So that movie did actually get a nomination in here. Yeah. Willem Dafoe for Florida Project, Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell both for 3 Billboards. Mm-hmm. Richard Jenkins for Shape of Water, and then Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World. Now, that one's an interesting one because that was originally Kevin Spacey in that role, and because of allegations and everything that happened with him, Christopher Plummer stepped in the last,
5 weeks before the movie was being released, and they reshot all of Kevin Spacey's scenes with Christopher Plummer, which he was like the main character of that movie. It's based off of J. Paul Getty.
Right.
So
they
they
basically shot the entire movie.
So he pulled like all the actors back with Mark Wahlberg and Michelle Williams, and then all the controversy with that's going on as well. But basically, 5 weeks before the movie gets released, and he reshot everything, and then apparently did good enough to get an Oscar nom. Which, I mean, it might be that they're nominating him because of the stunt of doing it 5 weeks before the movie gets released, and he still pulls in a good acting job. But that's still impressive.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I think a lot of people are saying that for some reason he shouldn't be in the nomination list, and for what it's worth, being able to pull that off is something that's huge. But I know that there was a lot of talk about Michael Shannon getting something for Shape of Water also.
Which he did fantastic in that.
Or the biggest snub of all, I think, might be Michael Stolberg not getting nominated for anything that he's been in. He's been in like 4 movies this year, all of which are in Oscar contention.
Including Shape of Water.
Yeah, including Shape of Water and Call Me By Your Name. And a lot of people are talking about his performance in Call Me By Your Name as amazing. And for some reason, he's not nominated for any of these. I think that's going to be one of the biggest snubs that people are going to talk about a lot. That and Armie Hammer not getting anything for Call Me By Your Name either. Yeah. So, moving on to Best Supporting Actress, you have Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, Allison Janney for I, Tonya, Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer for Shape of Water. Now, a lot of people were saying Laurie Metcalf should be the one that gets that award, but Allison Janney's been sweeping. So,
yeah, and I would say within the first, 5 minutes of watching I, Tonya, you could tell Allison Janney should get that. She does. I am not a huge fan of Allison Janney. Just, I don't know, just something about it. I just never really liked her. But she does fantastic in that. And she, again, in the first 5 minutes, I was like, yeah, she should be getting this. Octavia Spencer has been doing well ever since The Help. She has gone from, that off to the side character to being someone you actually watch and notice now. And she did great in The Shape of Water, but I don't think...
You don't know if it's Oscar-worthy performance?
I don't know if it's going to be Oscar-worthy. I think it's just another one of those, hey, it's Octavia Spencer, let's nominate her for something. Which is funny that she's starting to reach this, what I was saying, the Meryl Streep level of quality. It's really weird to say that with her, but... I think Allison Janney's probably a lock for that one.
And I think one of the other ones I just want to mention real quickly here is Mary J. Blige from Mudbound. First of all, Mudbound getting anything is kind of a huge feat because Mudbound is a Netflix movie. It's a Netflix original movie. So that's showing that, actors, actresses aside, Netflix is actually becoming a pillar in the movie industry enough to where their movies can actually get out there and be worthy of a nomination.
Yeah.
Something to look out for. The last ones I really want to hit, the last major ones I want to hit are the screenplays. The best original screenplay ones are Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards. Now, if you saw our best of 2017 movies, you know that those two right there, Big Sick and Get Out, were the ones that we were having a hard decision as to which one is the best movie and which one's the second best movie of the year. And so for both of those to get in there, we're both on board with that.
Yeah, and I'm really sad that this is pretty much, I think this is the only nomination that the Big Sick got. In which we made the joke before that, really is he supposed to get a nomination or award for playing himself?
No.
But, the movie was still very well done. The acting, directing, the story, everything was fantastic in that. And sadly, they're only getting the screenplay.
I would love Big Sick to get the screenplay just because I want it to get something, but man, it's up against Get Out.
Yeah, and the Get Out definitely deserves the award for that. Also, there's Shape of Water in there. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but apparently Guillermo del Toro wanted to do an actual remake of Creature from the Black Lagoon, and then he was denied that storyline, so that's when he turned it into The Shape of Water, and he wanted it to be a romantic love story, kind of like what The Shape of Water is. So that's why the creature looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
So the fact that he wrote an original story about that with the intention of it being a remake and then just completely just made a different movie with it.
Right.
That's also impressive, and I think it's definitely worth getting the nomination in there as well.
Yep. And then this last one here is adapted screenplay. We have Call Me By Your Name, Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, and Mudbound. It's good to see Molly's Game get in there because I know Aaron Sorkin's been doing a lot of writing.
And this is his first directing.
So it's good to see him get something in there in terms of recognition for that.
Which is funny that he's getting the nomination for writing and not the directing.
The two I really want to highlight here, though, are Disaster Artist and Logan. The fact that Logan is in there, like, again, this is just
comic book movies.
Slowly, comic book movies are seeping in and being recognized. Like, okay, maybe these are legitimate forms of art, especially when you can take a movie like Logan about a superhero and kind of transcend genre by turning it into this dramatic piece of art, basically.
Yeah.
That and then Disaster Artist.
Yeah, especially with this being the only thing that Disaster Artist got a nomination for, which I know there's currently right now in the news, there's allegations and stuff against James Franco, so therefore it seems as though the Academy snubbed him for a lot of stuff that he could have been up for.
That might be the reason why they don't want to nominate him for anything right now.
Even though he did a fantastic job in that movie, as the fact that he was the director and the lead actor, almost kind of imitating Tommy Wiseau, who was the actor and writer and director. And so, yeah, I mean, it's fantastic that's got a nomination. I kind of hope it wins just so it gets something, but at the same time, going up against Logan and some of the other stuff that's in there, like Call Me By Your Name.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think this might be Call Me By Your Name's award to lose here at this point.
Yeah.
But
I think the other thing that we should quickly mention was like the best animated feature film. So
this is a big snub in here, I think.
Yeah. So we've got Boss Baby in there, and I can see
Ferdinand.
I can see people arguing for Ferdinand because that did very well. But Boss Baby I saw, and that was just a really weird, out in left field movie. It was funny, but it was just very strange. The fact that it got nominated over the Lego Batman movie and the Emoji movie. Okay, but maybe not the Emoji movie.
Yeah, hold on.
But it almost seemed like, with the exception of the Lego Batman movie, that if you made an animated movie in 2017, you immediately got a nomination for Best Animated Film.
That's what it feels like. Except for Cars 3.
Cars 3.
Pixar can only have one, though.
Yeah. Coco's probably going to be the front runner on that. I would have liked to have seen Lego Batman because I'm pretty sure it would have pulled out a lot as well, just because of how intricately it was done.
They didn't nominate Lego Movie when it came out either.
No, and it was also...
Maybe there's just something about the fact that it's kind of like, oh, we're marketing a toy. This whole movie is basically a giant commercial.
So
maybe
now
the Academy's like...
So now the way the Academy looks at it is we're going to start accepting comic books and horror movies, but not Legos, not toys. We will not market toys.
It's also a Lego about a comic book.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that turns out when What's-Her-Face's Barbie movie comes out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. We got our Oscar pre-show and post-show. It's going to be on Facebook Live. Any of you guys who are not following Method Living Productions on Facebook, go ahead and give that a follow and a like over there.
And shame on you.
No. It's okay. It's okay. You still have time. You can do it.
Okay.
But go ahead and give a like over there because we're going to be doing a pre-show and post-show when the Oscars come on, I believe, March 4th. So,
yeah. And hopefully it's as good as the Oscars last year. I'm ready for...
Another trip up where somebody gets the best picture and then someone else gets the best picture 2 minutes later.
What they need to do, though, is this year give the best picture to someone who wasn't even nominated. Like, the winner is Logan. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. All right, guys, go ahead and give a like, comment, and subscribe here at Method Living Productions. Do all the YouTube things. You know how this works. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.